So when your life is on the line, the last thing most people think about is the cost of it, specifically an ambulance ride. But what should you do if you need medical transportation for a non-emergency?
Well, a viewer contacted us to say that he was charged a huge fee for a short ambulance ride ordered by his doctor. And tonight we're on your side with why he says it's worth it to shop around.
In an emergency, paramedics can often mean the difference between life and death. But not every ambulance trip they make is an emergency.
Oh, it shocked me. It still shocks me.
A month ago, Trev White went to his doctor's office because of a heart palpitation. He was told it was not a heart attack, but his doctor wanted more tests done at a hospital.
He said, we're going to send you on a ride, is what his exact quote was. And I said, so do you mean an ambulance? And he said, yes.
White says he was not in distress, and he asked if his wife could drive him the short distance to the hospital.
I was 1 mile away from the hospital, and I had a ride if I needed it. So I wasn't given a choice. I was just told this was going to happen.
Turns out the price tag for that 1 mile trip was $1,500. But White did have a choice. He could have refused the ambulance altogether, or at least not accepted his doctor's choice of ambulance, and instead pulled out his cell phone and started shopping around.
He could have saved a bunch of money by calling you guys.
Yeah, a whole lot of money.
Wes Anderson says a private ambulance like his would have taken about a half hour to arrive, but at just over $400, insurance would have paid most of it. Instead, White is stuck paying $1,200 out of pocket.
I was very, very upset. It cost more than my emergency room visit was, and I was in there for 5 hours.
Do you buy anything off the shelf without knowing what the price is? You shouldn't take an ambulance ride without knowing what the price is either.
Of course, that applies only to non-emergency situations, but given the chance to do it all over again, White says he'd think twice before letting his doctor select his ambulance.
Absolutely. Next time I'll ask more questions is what I'll do. $1,500 for a mile? Yeah. That's exorbitant. That's just too much money.
Imagine the shock. Well, White says his doctor insisted that he take an ambulance because of the possibility that he could suffer an attack that could cause an accident while he's driving. Even if his wife was driving, that could happen. It turns out, though, the concern was unwarranted because doctors found nothing wrong with him.
So $1,500 and nothing wrong on top of it.
Nothing wrong. And they're really testing for sort of average tests. If it was an emergency, like you said at the top of the show, you don't worry about costs. But if it's something else, a non-emergency call, you might want to shop around.
All right, so do you have a problem that you need us to look into, to investigate? Just head to IdahoOnYourSide.com. Send us an email.